What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. Bye, singing dog. Bye, goal.
I pronounce you.
Bye, wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really? Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, good afternoon, kids. I'm back on the radio. I know you guys are all excited because you think I've been slacking all week long, but no, actually, I'm making up for it today. I have 3 back-to-back shows today. We have 1 o'clock, which is, of course, the Bitter Party of 5. I'm so excited I can't stand it, so I'll try to make this very quick so we can get them on the line. Bitter Party of 5, 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, DJ Young Slade, 6 o'clock, David Fernandez Jr. on my sister show, Sun Spotlight. So without further ado, I'm going to try to get every single one of the cast members on the line, and we'll start our interview. So let's see who we've got first. Hello.
Hello.
Which one have I got?
You've got the one and only, the best one you have, bitterest one, Jason Antoon. How are you?
I knew. Yay! I'm wonderful. I'm excited. I was just looking at your art. I'm so excited to talk to you about that. I was just peeking into your art
sweet.
Before, so I'm really glad that
nice.
you're here. Yes. So we'll talk about that. So hold on. Let me get, we've got 2 more on here, so just 1 second.
No worries.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, it's Romy.
Which one have I got?
Oh,
it is Romy. Hi, Romy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm managing. I'm nervous, but I'm here. How are you?
Nothing to be nervous about. You've got the prettiest one, which is Jason, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was Greg, so I was just like, oh, my gosh, I'm really nervous about talking to Greg. So hold on, boys and girls. Just give me 1 second. I got another person to get on here.
I think Tricia.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah.
Tricia?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you guys? I'm good. How are you?
Hi.
Wait, Romy, did you say that Jason was the prettiest? Well, no, but then you actually sound the prettiest. I don't have a job if I'm not the prettiest. I thought that was my thing. Yeah. No, I mean, I just say that because Jason's, you know how sensitive he can get. Yeah, all right. Well, just keep it to yourself. Well, he's the prettiest.
How funny. We're 2 minutes in, and they're starting already. This is going to be great. I'm going to have to wrestle in all of these guys. I'm already intimidated. Okay, well, we have 3 out of 5 of you so far. So hi, and welcome to the show. And you probably don't know a darn thing about me, do you? I know a whole lot about you, but you probably know nothing about me. But that's okay.
You're from Michigan. You're from Michigan, Cindy.
Nice try. I'm from Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually close. Yes, I'm very close to University. Yes,
I went to
University of Madison.
I did.
I know you did commercial work in Chicago.
Oh, my God, you do know a lot. Yes, I did.
You're about to find out just how much I know. That's my job, is to bring you on my show, make you look really, really great. So I have a question for you 3. Since you're the 3 out of the 5 so far, we can either talk about y'all first or we can talk about the show first. So what's your preference?
Let's talk about the show. Let's let people know who the hell we are. Yeah.
I agree with you. Let's start talking about y'all, only because of the fact that you're absolutely wonderful. So I kind of have general questions for each and every one of you. So I'll kind of go through, I'll tell the audience a little bit about you, and you guys can kind of respond one at a time. You can be your own ringleader, so to speak, because in the past I've done this, and everybody kind of interjects. So I'll let you guys be boss and do what you want to do. How does that sound?
Oh, well, you're going to be sorry you said that, but
okay. I'm just going to bite my nails, listen, and be like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Obviously, everybody has an origin, as we all know. So I want to talk about your backstory a little bit. Obviously, of course, I know, Jason, as I understand this right, were you started in California, went to New York, went back to California, or?
Yes. I was born and raised in the Palisades in Santa Monica. And I lived in Sherman Oaks, and I went to Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh, went to New York for 15 years, came back in 2009.
Okay, gotcha. I wanted to make sure of that. Okay, and Tricia, I know you were for birthplace in Melrose, Massachusetts, grew up in LaGrange, Illinois, which is very close to me. Very happy to say that. Yay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Romy, I'm sorry, but I'm an idiot. I've looked, and no one can tell me where you're from. So I feel like an idiot journalist. Where do you reside originally?
Well, no. It's because I'm as old as time, and so right around. I think I might be the Virgin Mary. I'm not sure that I created everyone. I'm not sure. No, I was born in New York and lived there till I was like 9, and then we moved to Los Angeles, and then I went to college at Northwestern, right outside Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I want you guys to maybe speak to the listeners a little bit, each one of you, in terms of just tell us a little bit about how your childhood helped to share your eventual path to this participation in the pros that you do, meaning sometimes people as a kid, they wake up one morning, they're 8, 9 years old, and they're like, I want to act, that's all I want to do. So maybe just kind of tell us a little bit of your background in terms of where did this passion elate from?
I would say from my abusive father. So
Oh, no. Oh, Jesus, it's one of those?
Terrible. It's just terrible. No, I love my dad. But, it was a tough childhood, so I could cook for painting and art. No, I was an athlete. I grew up in a family of athletes, and, my brother played minor league ball in the Royals in Eugene Emeralds, and I wasn't as good as him, and I was always a jokester. And I constantly was drawing and painting and acting and making jokes on the football field, and I just, one day I was at a Mike Tyson fight. Like someone was throwing a party for a Mike Tyson fight. My brother's oldest friend said, I can lift you in the air and throw you. And I said, no, you can't. And he did. He gave me a concussion. And I stopped sports, and I went to Europe, and I got into painting. I got into acting. It was a great way to get ladies, and that's sort of my truncated version of how I came to get into acting and arts and music and
Okay.
Wow. I didn't know any of that. Okay. Tricia, did you?
No, know any of that either.
Fascinating. First of all, the concussion explains so much.
It's totally true. He threw me. He raised me up in the air like a barbell. He threw me. I landed. Then my head smacked, and I completely didn't know if my brother graduated from high school. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know anything. And then I backpacked through Europe with my sister, and I was like, look at the street artists and the street musicians and theater and movies and art.
Oh, dear. Wow. I don't mind. I honestly, I don't mean to laugh at the sad clown, but oh my God.
Right?
It explains a lot, right?
Totally.
Okay, great. All right, good.
All right, you're up next.
Well, I was always kind of, I remember in 5th and 6th grade, I would memorize different commercials, like the Harvey's Bristol Cream commercial and the Charlie commercial, and my teachers would call me up in front of the class whenever the kids were bored or weren't paying attention, and I would have to perform for them. So I remember kind of always being a little bit of a performer, but my first sort of taste of it was I was cast as Huckleberry Finn in one of the very first cases of genderless casting ever in a 7th grade play of Tom Sawyer, obviously. And I remember for some reason getting a laugh. I don't know that if I was trying to be funny, but I got a laugh, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I kind of got the bug that day, and and I just started buying books, and I joined a theater group that met on weekends, and, I got my first agent when I was 16 and was doing commercials in the city, and, and that was kind of it. But it was that moment when I got a laugh playing Huckleberry Finn. That's the moment I remember.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Romy, you're up.
I was actually raised in the entertainment business. My dad was a producer, and he used to do movies of the week, classics for the television, like Man, Iron Mask and Count of Monte Cristo and all those sorts of things. So from the time I was 12, I worked on, every summer I worked on a set. So I think that I was always kind of, was the entertainer of the family, was the baby of the family, loved to kind of, be the controller of all the moods. But I was in Man, Iron Mask at 12. I was an extra as a lady in waiting and had to curtsy for what felt like 23 hours at once. And I was standing behind Sir Ralph Richardson and Louis Jourdain, who was in Gigi, and I just thought, this sucks and it's great. And then I just I went on and did a lot of improv, and then when I went to Northwestern, I was a theater major and then a film major, and on from there. So I guess I could say it was in my blood.
Yes, and it sure sounds like it is. And by the way, just so you ladies know this, and this is no diss against Jason, of course, I don't think he's going to want me to say this, but you really are very beautiful women. And I'm not just saying this on my show right now. I've actually looked at you, and you're very cute. Jason, I would call you pretty or
that
beautiful, but I still hate that. So.
I mean, Cindy, I think your shirt should be called Blue is the Warmest Color. I mean, what's going on?
You know, I'll be nice to Jason eventually here. I'm going to talk about your art in a nice way, okay? I mean, I'll give you that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
We'll get into it.
Right.
I promise you. I promise. I do. Okay. On to phase 2. We're going to talk a little bit about this. And I've interviewed a number of different actors, and it's strange to me that it seems that actors are a house divided on their view of this. So I'm going to give people a little insight on you in terms of your educational background. Some actors say that there's a necessity to be educated in one's craft in school, whereas some of the mentality of education really belongs coming from the stage exclusively. So I'm just going to go ahead and list Jason, of course, with Carnegie Mellon University. Tricia, of course, UW-Madison, close to my house. And Romy, of course, Northwestern University and Harvard-Westlake. So maybe if each one of you could address that issue, what is your stance on that in terms of, is your best education live on stage, or did most of it come from your actual formal education?
Well, I chose to major in TV and film production because I knew I wanted to act, but I also knew that what you said is true, that the best experience is actually the doing and the getting out there and the doing plays and all that stuff. But also I knew that I could take classes for the rest of my life in acting, wherever, whenever. So I wanted to learn a little bit about the opposite side of the camera. So I chose to study that. And, has it helped me? I think maybe it's made me a little bit more of a patient actor. I kind of get what's going on behind the scenes and, and I have an appreciation for all the work that goes on, on that side. So that's the route I took.
Okay.
I think that kind of what Tricia said is that I started as a theater major, and then I also became a radio, TV, film major because I knew that I would predominantly be more geared towards TV and film. Although now that I'm older, I'm dying to do theater, and I can't get a job. But I really do think that you gain the experience and you gain the knowledge from that. And exactly what Tricia said is that you can take classes and you can learn technique, but I don't know if you can be taught how to act. I think you can be taught and it's like practice makes perfect, or with certain styles, with Shakespeare and all of that. And all of that practice will make you better. But I think that just going out there and doing it rather than just sitting in a classroom, is definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, at Carnegie Mellon, I think you called it Melton, Cindy, so you need to do your research next time. It's Carnegie Mellon. That's an Andrew Mellon.
Or Honeydew.
I'm almost 20 years later, I'm almost paying my student loans off. I've almost paid it all off. Can you believe it?
Oh, my God.
But
really?
those old schools that used to train for theater, when I went there, it was to train you for repertory companies. It was to train you to be able to play King Lear and then play this part. Sorry, I'm taking care of my child right now, so he's yelling at me.
That's okay.
It's to play. You're being trained to play all these different roles in a repertory company, and repertory companies, they're still around, but they're not as prevalent anymore. So you learn this training, you learn these different styles of acting. You don't necessarily learn what you're good at when you come out in the real world. What are you? Like people were like, you're going to be a cab driver in these TV shows, and I was like, I don't want to be a cab driver. I don't want to be a terrorist. And so I make that decision when you come out. You're like, oh my God, I fit into. It doesn't matter how good you played Hamlet at school. It doesn't matter how good you played Romeo, or if you were in an Ibsen play, because you come out and you're like, no, we've got real people who look like that could play those parts. Yeah. It's not no longer being an actor. You're being a type when you come out. So I think those schools have now adopted to those programs and they have film classes now where you can act in front of the camera. So you're not coming and I remember one of my first auditions for Law & Order out of school, and I was playing a guy who was robbing someone, and I was like, give me the money. Give it to me now. And they're like, hey, you're over-pronunciating everything. You got to like, give me the money. Give me, you throw it away, and you got to be that guy. So it's weird training versus, I think training is good when you're on Broadway. I did a Broadway show. I learned how to preserve my voice for a 2-year run. There's a lot of great stuff about training. But, they give all those great parts to the British actors now. So
Really?
So true.
So true.
Now, before we move on to the next thing, just a general quick question, because this is a curiosity question of mine. Are any of you interested, or do you think it's pertinent at all to do continuing education? I mean, even though you are where you are right now, would you even consider that, or would you think that that's something that you just don't need at this point?
You mean college? You mean college, or I mean,
yeah.
like grad school, or taking classes?
I was just going to say, some of the actors have told me like they do continuing educational classes in acting just to keep themselves sharp from that perspective. But sometimes you just get to that point where you're like, you don't need to do that.
Nope. Nope.
I think sometimes it can be fun. Because there are times where, especially in auditioning and how competitive it is out there, is that you just want to, it's like going to a gym. You just want to work out, and I think that would be more my impetus to go and take class and to learn something new.
Yeah.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, doing bitter, at least for me, was like an improv class. I mean, it was, here I was with 4 other brilliant actors, so I learned from them, and believe me, I blow a lot of smoke up there, but I'm actually being very, very serious. And so to me, doing bitter with these 4 other people was definitely like an improv class. And it was a workout.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure, I imagine. Gotcha. Okay. Well, next part, we're talking about you guys are making me not talk right. See, I am nervous. Professional/personal roles. Roles are very important. If you knew me well enough, you would know, and I say this on my show every time, and I truly mean it. The most of celebrities in 2 things. If you're successful professionally and personally, obviously, all of you. Oh, that's okay. Let's just get a control on the dog. Speaking from a celebrity standpoint, all of you, I'm just so elated. Not only are you a celebrity in your own right as it relates to the acting and the things you've done there, but on a personal level as well, I think that you're all amazing. That's all I can say about that. God, I'm telling you.
I like you a lot.
So I'm going to tell the audience, you're going to like me even more as we go along. I'm going to try. And by the way, the next time you say pain in the butt, you can't say ass because I'm internet radio in case, but I'm trying to be very good and not too
I'm just going to say ass I'm just going to say it now, ass.
Okay. See, now it's out there, and we've got it. Okay. There you go. All right. I'm going to tell the audience a little bit about your expertise, and then I'll have 2 questions for each of you that are relative to this. Just so that everybody knows, Romy's titles are as follows, as far as I can remember all of them. Actress, producer, writer, also, of course, wife, animal advocate, and from what I hear, she's an excellent crier. Tricia, you are an actress, writer, producer, a wife, a mother. You've also published an artist resource book, and you have a line of greeting cards called Heart Song.
Yes.
Jason, as they call him, the jackass of all trades. What a surprise that they would say that. Actor, writer, director, producer, painter, husband, and he does tremendous art. But I have to ask this question about the art. So first we'll start with Jason. What's with the bananas?
The banana fish that I've been painting or drawing since I was in high school. I took art school in high school because I wanted to actually be a painter. And then you take this AP course and you get graded and then you submit it. But I actually got in for acting, and I was like, well, I'll go for acting and I'll paint in the meantime because there's no way to minor at Carnegie Mellon for painting because acting is so extensive. You have no time for it. So I just started painting. But when I was like dealing with, I never could write a diary, so I actually started to draw bananas, and however I felt that day, I would either be bruised like a banana, and I would make a whole scenario. I still have my original diary drawings of the banana fish, and if I felt good, I'd be like more like a fresh greenish banana with no spots or bruises on it, like how a banana ages on your kitchen table. But it stems from my obsession with J.D. Salinger. He has a story called A Perfect Day for Banana Fish. Anybody's read that, they'll sort of find the parallels to it, meaning so I just use that sort of imagery of what a banana fish would look like and use it as an illustrative diary. So that's what it comes from. And, it sort of represents just how I feel. So
sure.
It's really where it comes
beautiful.
from.
I have to say that. I mean, they really are very beautiful.
Thank you. You're the only you're probably the last one to look at the website in the last, somehow, years.
Oh, my God, that's ridiculous. Do you show your art anywhere?
I mean, I've tried to. I'm just waiting to get, more. I don't want to say famous because that sounds like I'm an asshole. Oh, sorry, I'm a butthole. What can you say? Can you say
no, ass.
You can say asshole. You can say shit. Yeah, you can say anything.
But it really is about like how much if you're more, you see a lot of famous actors who have been painters, but no one cares.
Right.
But it's a really difficult to pursue a painting career without really it's like being a stand-up comic. You really have to go do it and do it and do it and do it. And you really have to go on the road and do it and do all this. And that's the same thing as a painter. So in the meantime, I've been doing it until, I don't know, I get more followers on Twitter and I get verified. No, I'm kidding. But, so, I don't know. I'm sort of lazy about it. I'm a jackass of all trades. That's the thing is I can play music, I write songs, I do everything. I can do push-ups.
Oh, no way. Really?
Push-ups?
I've never seen that.
I'd like to.
Yeah.
I can do 10 aggressive push-ups straight with a flat.
Aggressive. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what that means, but I challenge you the next time we all see each other.
Yeah. I will do the 10th one. I will lie there for a long time.
Yeah, he didn't say how long.
Hey guys,
sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know what happened there. I lost you all of a sudden. That was really weird.
You did?
Okay, didn't you notice? All of a sudden it got quiet, and I'm like, did you not notice I was gone for like 3 minutes or 2 minutes?
Well, I disconnected itself.
We're actors.
Hello, I am a really good listener. And just so that you know, Jason, the reason I asked that is because I'm coming to LA in 2 weeks, and I wanted to see your art.
Oh.
Oh, my art? Wow, it's all in the garage.
No, the guy next to you. Yes, dude! I wanted to see your art because I have a fellow actor friend. Well, I'm sure you probably know him. Do you know Michael Ornstein from Sons of Anarchy?
I know who he is. I don't know him, though, personally.
Yeah, he does a lot of art, and I get to see it, but I don't get to see it in person. And when I come to LA, I'm not going to get to see it. So I thought, well, who else could I see that has art? Oh, Jason.
Well, it's literally in my garage on top of each other. It's not like it's beautifully shown right now. But
just got excited for nothing.
It's like you come. It sounds like I'm like selling it on Craigslist, and you come and I pull it out of the dusty garage. So here you go.
I get it. Okay, I understand. Now, Tricia, talk to me a little bit about hard songs because I think that's cool because I'm an author myself, and I think that's awesome that you have a line of greeting cards. So what up with that?
Well, I started doing greeting cards about 15 years ago, and was doing them through recycled paper greetings. And for a while, it was kind of, it was like a daily thing where I would just work and do these cards for like hours. And it was such a great creative outlet and something that I had a lot more control over than the acting. And so I was really, really good and producing a lot of designs for a few years there about, in like 2000 or so. And for a while I had my own kiosk at Target, and they were being sold at Cost Plus and every place that recycled paper greetings were sold. And then I kind of stopped doing them for a while, but a lot of my cards stayed on the shelves, which was really good. And I just started getting back into it last summer, and I'm loving it, and also creating a new line as well. And it's just, again, it's just really calming, and, it's just kind of a great way to spend a few hours. You feel really productive, but you also feel like so creatively satisfying.
I know exactly. Now, if this little girl in Wisconsin wanted to find your cards, can I do that?
Yeah, recycled paper greetings is now part of Papyrus, so anywhere where Papyrus is sold. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, Romy, I want to talk about, I have 2 questions for you, Romy. First of all, maybe explain the crying bit, the excellent crier title.
Yeah, you won.
And then, of course, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I want to hear I'm unbelievably impressed with both Tricia and Jason. I was like, yes, greeting cards. Oh, my God, you're a painter. I was like, God damn it. And now she's going to ask me. I was like, I got nothing. But go ahead.
No. You can cry. You didn't let me finish. Okay, I was going to say, Romy, of course, obviously, the excellent crier title, which you have, but I myself personally am very moved and very touched by, I've gone through and I've looked at these posts that you have on your Facebook page as far as animal rescue and that sort of thing. And I have a very dear friend of mine who does a tremendous amount of that, and I have the utmost respect for people that support animal rescue and animal advocacy. So I'm curious to ask you, what is the Why? Is it something that's special to your heart for some reason?
I mean, I do. I've got two rescue dogs. I'd probably have more if my husband actually allowed me to. But it just I have a 25-year-old stepson, so I don't have kids of my own. So I kind of look upon my animals as such. But it's just I've always loved them. I was always that kid who at 4 years old would go up to the strange dogs in the street and kind of was never frightened of them. Just kind of spoke their language, so to speak. And now, I mean, I have to say that I support a lot of friends who really are in the trenches, who really are out there fostering and I raise money or I get the word out. I wish I was more involved with it. Kind of that's the unfortunate thing about being kind of an actor for hire is that you always have to be available. So sometimes doing the other things besides raising money your time becomes limited. But it just, I don't know. I definitely was with some kind of mutt in a former life, I'm sure of it.
Mm-hmm. So I want to ask these two questions to each of you. If you could just please tell me, what role out of the ones that I've listed do you personally feel that you're best at? And also, if you could, what else would you want to add to your resume at some point?
Oh, good question.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Jason, you want to take it first?
So sorry, my child was talking to me. What?
No, that's okay. Two questions. Of all the life roles that you possess, and of course, obviously, it's a given when it comes to being a dad, so we know that already. So, professionally speaking, name the role that you feel that you're most proficient at, and of course, what would you like to add to your resume if you could down the line?
So, you mean as I was as an actor? What I've been most proficient at? Is that what you mean?
Well, meaning you're an actor, you're a writer, you're a director, you're a producer. Out of all those titles,
I mean,
what would you say
think
you're
I'm
most proficient at?
I actually would have to say, writing. I mean, I write a lot, and it's the purest form of my creativity. It's the only thing that really actually satisfies me. I mean, I'm satisfied as an actor because I've been able to make a living, but a lot of the times you're just doing a role, and then you're gone. You don't have any other creative input other than sort of your personality, but when you write and you create or when you paint, it's just being creative. I mean, it's sort of why I like doing all the stuff, all the different professions, or the trades, I should say, because of the creativity. It's just actually writing. Even if nobody sees it or if no one does anything, it feels like I'm the most satisfied, even if I don't get paid for it. That's what I love the most. That's what I feel the most proficient in. And
yeah, I would agree with that. I'm going to answer the same way. I think I'm a much better writer than I am an actor, but it's just so hard. It's just so hard, and I don't know if I have that discipline where you just, even if you don't feel like it, even if you're not inspired, even if you're not feeling creative, to sit down and write every day. I mean, it's a lot of work, and but I actually do think I'm good at it, and I think the thing that I'd like to add to my resume is, my writing partner is Alex Cap-Horner, who played my my co-star on New Adventures of Old Christine. She was the other meanie mom. Mm-hmm. And we write really, really well together, and we're a great team on and off camera. And so ideally, one day we would love to kind of write and produce and star in our own thing. That's sort of our goal.
The story of the Indigo Girls. No, I'm kidding.
There you go.
Which is so funny, actually. I want to see that story.
Yeah, right?
Right. The blonde Indigo Girls.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, I think that I'd probably say that I'm definitely more proficient in acting than writing, though I love the outline and pitch part of writing, but I do not have the discipline. And what I would love to add to the resume, even though now I'm feeling, I don't know, bruised and hurt by Tricia just wanted to do a show with Alex Cap-Horner, but is that we turned Bitter Party 5 into a half-hour comedy on HBO or Showtime or FX, kind of like a Curb Your Enthusiasm. That I would love to add to the resume.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that too.
Good answer.
That's what I meant.
Really good.
That's what I meant to say.
Really good.
Oh, yeah.
Good job. Okay. How are we doing so far? Everybody okay? Am I asking bad questions, or are we doing all right so far?
No, you're perfect.
We're happy.
Oh, no, you're perfect. Okay, good. Let's talk about prizes. That's what I call them. Some folks claim that the true sign of success is found within the amount of accolades that one receives. Now, that's some people that have that rationale. So before I ask these two questions, let me just mention to the audience who's listening, I know that Romy had won Best Actress for John in the Sky. I know Jason was nominated for a Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Musical for Contact. And Tricia, of course, was named 100 Women Making a Difference in Chicago, which I find extremely impressive as well. So two questions to all of you. Would you agree on the caveat that success is found within the amount of accolades you receive from your industry? And second of all, how pertinent do you think it is to have such things in terms of securing future employment?
Well, I mean, God, it's kind of both. But also, how many Twitter followers do you have? I've heard producers say they look at your Twitter followers, and almost like that is more important than anything else. Like, what's your IMDb rating number? It's ridiculous, and it's not really about. It's not always who's the best actor in the room, or for an audition, or for furthering your career. I feel like it's
very rarely
luck. A lot of it is luck.
Well,
and your talent is what gives you longevity. That's how I feel.
It has become a popularity contest for sure. So in that respect, it matters a great deal how, recognized and popular and how many accolades you've gotten. It just does. And like Jason said, I would go as far as to say it's never about whether or not you're the best one for the job or the best one in the audition or the most right for the part. I don't remember the last time that the person who was most right for the job got the job,
Right.
It's a popularity contest now. It's gotten harder and harder and harder to work. It's really discouraging.
And it's gotten harder and harder to work because the people who are kind of, it used to just be there were 3 networks or whatever, and they were their own bosses. But now the networks and studios are owned by corporations, so they have shareholders and all those people to answer to. So it does become a popularity contest, as Jason and Tricia said. And so the Twitter, the Twitter followers and this, and whether or not you're verified, like all of those things that you don't learn about certainly in drama school or acting school, and so having a nomination or having people talk about you or any of that, everything helps. But then, you still have to go in there and do a good job. But what's so frustrating now is that because they make less movies and things like that, there's just so many people available.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, talent and patience and tenacity. If it really is survival of the fittest. And whether or not, it's like I definitely, I feel fortunate to be a character actor because I will continue to work as I get older. I was like never the ingenue. So in that I figure I can hold on for a few more years.
And also, when I got out of school, where everybody was the best actor from the state that they came from, right?
Right. Yeah.
Everyone was the best actor that got into Carnegie Mellon, and then you get there and you're like, we're all terrible. And then you learn, and then 4 years later and a lot of it has to do with, can you deal with living in New York and LA? Can you deal with a lot of rejection? There are some people who come right out of school, they pop right away, and then nothing after. Or they pop and they pop their whole lives. But a majority of actors are struggling working trying to get the next job. You could be the best painter in the world. If your paint is in Molly's coffee shop on East 12th Street and blah, 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 and no one cares. And it doesn't matter. But you could be the best painter in the world. It's all just a matter of where you're hanging, where you're acting. Look at the Best Supporting Actress category. People who win, a lot. It's like a jinx almost, where you don't really do anything after, or your career's over, they kind of say. It's almost better to be nominated than it is to win.
Yeah. Some of the best actors I've ever met have long ago quit and moved away and started doing something else.
Yeah, it's really about, can you survive in it? Can you survive in the rejection of it? And you just have to throw that shield over yourself and say, you're being judged on when you walk in the room, and if you look like the producer's ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend and they hate them, they're not going to cast you, even though you could be the best person for the role, which I still think is, when anyone says, oh, they could, the only person who could play this role, I feel like that's BS. I mean, there's so many actors, so many people can play it.
It's completely subjective because it's someone's opinion. It's just that the most important opinion is whoever's the head of that studio or the head of that network or whatever at that time. So a lot of the times, I mean, I love actors. I love what I do. And I love television, watching television. But, you know, a lot of the times I'm like, they got it?
Yeah.
And so there is no rhyme or reason or, you know, you see people who get, you know, chance after chance after chance and, you know, the shows get canceled, whatever. You're like, why did you give someone else a chance? It's like, you know, there's no rhyme or reason. You know, if you're a doctor or if you go to med school, you're going to come out being a doctor, definitely.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're an actor, hopefully it'll work, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, I do.
So, you know,
I've said this 100 times before. God.
And there definitely is something, you know, there definitely is something where being on stage and, you know, and when you watch someone on stage or you watch someone on film, there is that, whatever that it is, you know, I'm sure you guys, where you're sitting in the audience and you can't take your eyes off that one person in the ensemble of six.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of that unspoken thing that you can't be taught, you know, it just is. So I think that that's also one of the things that counts in whether or not you make it.
And in Bitter Party of Five, it's the big ashtray leaf on the table that you can't keep your eyes off. It's none of us.
None of us. None of us. Except when Mary gets roast. Except when Mary gets roast.
Oh my God! Listen to that. Goodness. Well, you'll be happy to know that if my book takes off this year, I'm going to formulate a production company with a friend of mine. And then I'm going to employ every one of my actor friends that I have ever met in my entire life. So there you go. That'll solve that problem. I'll just keep actors employed all year round with all of my reality ideas, et cetera, et cetera. But that's going to take a lot of work. So just cross your fingers like the next 2 years.
It's so exhausting.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
It's so tiring.
But we're about to talk about all that tiring work and all those long hours put in to try to get the roles, and I'm going to talk about your actual body of work. I know, of course, today that some of our focus is going to be on your web series, but maybe not all of the audience knows or realizes the depth of your work in television or film. And obviously, between all three guests combined, we could be on air all day long talking about each and every project they've ever done. So I kind of condensed it up a little bit. So I'm going to detail some of the things that you've done, and then I have a few questions relative to this. As far as Romy, you have done CSI, Justified, of course, Glee, Nip and Tuck, The Avengers, and Kung Fu Panda 2. As far as Tricia, we have 2.5 Men, CSI, Frasier, The New Adventures of Old Christine, Outside Sales, and Weather Girl, which you also, of course, served as producer for that particular film. And as far as Jason, we have Minority Report, 2 Weeks Notice, with the also upcoming animated series Electric City with Tom Hanks. So there's a couple different questions I have here. The first of which is, for each of you, are you more drawn by nature to comedic roles or to dramatic roles?
Oh, God, comedic for me. I feel so boring if I don't get, like, applause or laughter after I say something. I feel like I've failed. I just love the energy of doing comedy, you know. I mean, I'll do both, and I'm just happy to be working. Whatever somebody will give me, I'll take. But I would much rather stay making people laugh.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Romy. Ladies first.
You're nice. And you're pretty. And you're pretty.
Just go.
Stop it. Don't yell at me. I'm sensitive. I used to only do comedy, and then I truly realized, like, I could cry on cue. And now I actually do. I enjoy drama. I like the challenge of drama, but obviously I love doing comedy. But if an audition comes in for a drama or a comedy, I feel that it's quote unquote easier for me to do the dramatic stuff, which is weird.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's a lot of comedy. I mean, but there are some casting directors who've only ever cast me in what's considered as a drama or not a comedy movie. But I'm still playing roles that the guy is a little bit off, or he's like in Minority Report, it was basically like he's a sketchy guy, but he still helps out Tom Cruise, the lead guy in the movie. It's like that's what I kind of fit in between, like the guy will smile, but also stab you in the back, but also be snarky at you. So it is mostly comedies, even if it's in a drama.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know, and I love physical comedy, but you know, it's rare that women are allowed to do it because Sydney, I don't know if you know this, but women aren't funny, or at least we've been told that. So
that is
you know,
a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry,
yeah.
but that's true. That's a bunch of crap. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Tricia, did you answer that question? I don't think you did you?
No, I said I'd much rather do comedy any day of the week. I would much rather do.
I apologize. Yeah. Okay.
I have a really good.
Next.
I do love like dramedies as well. You know what I mean? Like where you find the funny in very unfunny situations,
right?
Which is life. You know.
Of course, I agree, 100%. Okay, next question: which do you find more challenging, television or film production?
More
kind of the same. I mean,
in terms of getting a job, or in terms of making them?
I think in terms of actual work, like some TV actors that I talk to, they're just like, oh my God, we're here on set, it's 14 hours long, we're standing around, we're shooting the breeze, da-da-da-da-da. Whereas, you know, the production's different between one and another. Some actors just prefer to be in one genre versus the other for whatever reason. So I was just curious.
Nah, not
really
any different. I mean, what difference is there? It's not really.
It's just a longer schedule for, we're usually, for film where you're doing, you know, in television, you're doing 7 or 8 pages a day, which, you know, depending on how many scenes, blah, blah, blah. So you're doing a lot more in a day, and you've got to do an entire episode if it's a 1 hour in 7 or 8 days, and if it's a half hour in 4 or 5 days. So film, at least for, like, the big budget stuff, they have, you know, they have 3 months to do it, to do a 2-hour film. So it all depends upon what it is.
I would much rather do, I mean, just as a mom, the sitcom schedule is by far the most conducive to, you know, having children. The schedule's much easier, and so, you know, that is the reason why I would ideally do a sitcom over anything else, is just because I get to see my kids in the morning and get to put them to bed at night, whereas any other job, you know, it's 16-hour days. So.
Of course. Sure. I understand. Now, if I were to ask each of you, tell me what your best work was, what would you say it is to this point in time?
Your best work? Ooh.
Whether it be a show, whether it be a
probably
production of some
Bitter
kind.
Party of 5.
Right. Bitter Party of 5.
I knew that
it's probably
was
Bitter Party of 5 because it's the most, for me, actually, it's weird. I mean, you know, Bitter Party of 5, it's a real thing, even though we're not getting paid. I guess it's funny because actors sort of feel like, when you get paid, it's real. When you don't get paid, it's like a favor, and it doesn't really count. But, you know, when I did Contact on Broadway, that was, you know, because we created the show in workshop form before Lincoln Center picked it up to start as off-Broadway, and then we moved to Broadway, then we won the Tony and everything. That was really, really, really great because, again, it goes back to being creative with the show, with workshopping it and being part of that original. So you feel like you're sort of writing it as an actor for them, as opposed to you don't sit there and write it with them, but you are creating it with them. And that really, for me, was what changed my career, because once we got great reviews and won the Tony, everybody was coming. So that's how I got into Minority Report, because Steven Spielberg came and saw it and cast me in that. So it's like when you're in high-profile stuff, when you have heat on you, it really makes a difference. But for me, that role in Contact on Broadway live for 2 years really was my favorite and has done the most for my creativity and my career.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies?
I think I always say I haven't done it yet, but I did an episode of Nip Tuck, which just was kind of a very, very challenging role. It was a very emotional role, and it was also really fun because I got to have prosthetic makeup and go through all of that. So sitting in makeup for 4 hours and having this stuff applied to you, you don't really have to do a lot of acting because you just look in the mirror, and if you're missing half a face, you're like, oh, okay, I don't have to do anything. But it also introduced me to Ryan Murphy, and then came Glee. And though my stuff in Glee it's definitely quality over quantity, but it's been, it's definitely because, especially in the beginning, it was so high profile that my recognition level became higher because of that. You know, as far as the person goes, oh, I've never heard of her. You know, she plays the mom in Glee. Oh, yeah, you know, so it's one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I think I just have to say old Christine. Just, I mean, I don't know if it was the best work I've ever done, but it was definitely the most fun I've had. You know, it was 5 years, and we were like a family. And, you know, I think, and I got to work with Alex Horner, who I already mentioned. But, you know, we ended up sharing a dressing room for 5 years because we were such good friends, and we, you know, so that was just a really great time. And plus, I do think that Indigo Girls. Yeah, we're gonna do the remake or do the yeah. I also just think that, you know, that type of character I love to play, and I think I'm good at it. And then Weather Girl, I'm really proud of. Just, you know, not just the acting, but I was just proud that we made that little movie, and then it turned out so well. No.
It literally sounded like Holden was like, I'm not sure. I think you were good in both, Tricia. I'm ready for Holden, Jason's son.
Thanks, sweetie.
Yeah, exactly.
On the phone.
Now, before we talk about
Two and a Half Men.
What?
Yes.
Holden thinks I was great in 2.5.
I think so.
Yeah.
I heard say that.
Thanks, Holden.
Now, before we progress on to Bitter Party of 5, because I think we have to actually talk about that because that's part of the reason you're here. But I wanted to ask this because I'm always very curious about this. Obviously, you all have a personal life. Maybe tell your audience a little bit, what would we not expect? Because obviously, you know, we all have this perception of what an actor does with his day and this and that. So tell them a little something personal. And moreover, I'm just curious, how vital or how pertinent do you think it is that you have a spouse or a partner that's supportive of your endeavors?
Well, I don't have one anymore.
And I feel like an ass now.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
You can have mine. You can
kidding. A very, very good ending.
That is amazing.
Really, we're great friends and great co-parents. I was just trying to make you laugh, but he was very, very supportive of my career, and that is extremely important. And I'll let one of the currently married people finish the answer to that question.
Well, Romy and I are both with actresses. I'm with an actress.
Well, you know what? I'm with an actress too. I mean, he's very effeminate. I mean, let's face it. Oh my God, literally crickets. I mean, oh my God. I mean,
we love Steven. We can't make fun of him.
Oh my God.
Too much.
But yes, so it's I think it's both. I mean, at least for me, I had never dated an actor before ever in my life. I was like, oh my God, cannot be with someone who's talking about themselves all the time like I do. But it is both, in my situation, unbelievably supportive and the rest of it because he knows what it is. And then on the flip side, like, so I can be the supportive wife and everything, but on the flip side, he is a very successful actor, and therefore he has offered things so often that it becomes, you know, you can't help but take it personally. I'm like, you know what, if I was a man, I would work too, as much as, you know, which is untrue because he's unbelievably talented. But the running joke of Bitter is that, you know, he just works all the time. And in fact, those guys confused. They said that that Steven had done a voice in Kung Fu Panda 2, and I had to correct them and tell them, no, it was actually me that did that.
I even cast Romy with her own husband.
Yes, yeah.
In my story. Oh my God! Sorry, honey. I'm still sorry.
Okay, I got it. So I guess that's a good. I guess I can ask you guys this question because I'm a single person. I'm not a married person. I have an interest in an actor, and I was thinking about that. I've dated musicians, and they are the narcissistic ones. I don't know if you guys. I have a lot of friends who are musicians, and they're wonderful, but can tend to be on the little egotistical side of things. Probably more even than actors, I think. But that's just my opinion, and I love them dearly. But
possible.
What is I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm a writer, I have absolutely no acting ability. I'm like, do actors just gravitate to other actors? I mean, should I just flee now and try to find myself a Stephen King-ish type person?
Oh, no. I mean, I was never, ever attracted to actors. I mean, I just wasn't. I also wanted more stability and the rest of it. And I definitely think, you know, you wind up who you wind up with. But, you know, actors, it's definitely a tough road because there's so much involved with the ego in getting the job. So if an actor has a job and is working, they're on top of the world. But if it's day after day after day, and they're auditioning or they're not auditioning, it kind of wears on the soul. So that person has to just be a very strong, have a strong sense of self. You know, and if you get one of those, then an actor can be a blast.
Interesting.
And yeah, it's who you meet. Yes.
No, yeah.
That's our. So we're going to be meeting actors more than we're going to be meeting, you know, accountants and people like that. I don't think anybody's really actor, so to speak, but it's just kind of who we are, you know, we run into.
Right.
Also, other actors are like most actors are really, really good in the sack. So it's just really exciting.
Right.
Because if you find somebody that has some problems, like daddy issues, it's amazing terrible.
Oh, my God. You're translated on the show. Nice. Now I'm getting acts on here. I had an actor tell me the other day I was hot as shit. That was an exact quote. I was like, did you really just say that? I mean, he's like 48 years old. I'm like, hot as shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I should be flattered or like jaw dropped. Like, really? People talk like that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was. I think it was very.
He might be 48, but he plays like 32. So hot as shit actually does work.
His age range is 32 to 39.
Well, yeah, it's kind of working. I guess we'll see. We will see how it is. Now, we get to talk about Bitter Party 5. So I have
Wait, Cindy, really quick. Sorry.
Yes.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? I sadly have to go and take my child to nap, but I'll give the ladies to talk about Bitter.
Will you do the last? You just give your thing, and then we'll
and then hang up, Jason, and then I'm going to go at noon.
What?
Okay.
Give us your take on Bitter, and then you can hang up and tend to your child.
Yeah.
So the take on Bitter is we met doing the Roseanne Barr, John Goodman NBC pilot. It was their 20-year anniversary to come back to television together. And this was like, it's gonna get picked up. It's NBC. It's John Goodman, Roseanne Barr. We started to have lunch with each other. The 5 of us, we were having a great time. And then we started to hear that it wasn't gonna happen. And we were percolating. And then we were dead. And then it wasn't gonna. And then it didn't get picked up. And we were like, what the F? And so we were like, well, let's stay together. Let's do something together. And so we came up with the idea of interviewing more famous people than us, but the show tried to make the show about us to make ourselves feel better and to figure out what are we doing wrong with our careers? Why aren't we as famous as you guys that are sitting across from us?
Right. Right.
All right, bye. I love you.
Hey, Jason.
Cindy, you're hot as shit.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye, Jason. Thank you for being
on. Bye, guys.
Okay.
Absolutely. Bye.
All right, ladies. That leaves us two, or us three, rather. It's all feminine, and I kind of like that. Sometimes it's nice to have the boys. Sometimes it's nice to just have the girls. So we can still cover everything. And I want to read this graduate to you because I think it's important to let you guys know what I think because I have watched your program repeatedly. I believe that each of you are unique in your own right, and you carry a very good spirit for satirical work, and you delve into uncharted territory with this web series, of course, entitled Bitter Party 5. In watching the program, I just love the continual, what I call it is banter while beveraging, which I kind of like. The sexual and solicitous that go on and the overall connection between characters. I also find it inspiring that such a quality segment could be produced within a short, segmented time frame, which, a lot of times the product and the point needs a lot longer. So I just want to name off, obviously, because not all 5 of you are here, but, of course, Tricia O'Kelley and Romy Rosemont, Jason Antoon, who is here, Greg Cromer, is that pronounced properly, I hope? And Mary Birdsong, of course.
Birdsong.
Right, yeah. Oh, my God, I should have had that right. I was so excited to talk to Mary, too, because I've seen her art, and it's absolutely beautiful, too. So please, please pass that along to her if I don't get a chance to speak to her, because I just think she's marvelous, and we have some I can't talk.
I don't know why Mary wasn't, no idea what happened, and Greg had an audition, but we all wanted to be here, just so you know.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, no. And I understand that. And Danny had mentioned that to me, and I just found that out. So I'm like, I feel bad because I'm like, oh, I was so prepared, and I really wanted to get their viewpoint, but this will be a good excuse to invite them to come back individually because I'd like to still talk to them. Okay, so prior to recently, I, along with thousands of others, were not aware that, of course, each of the cast members, each one of you is hands-on for each element of the show, and the crew are volunteers. And further, it's even more awe-inspiring to know that many of you, of course, are, as far as I know, garnishing a paycheck in terms of the web series. So I just find that just staying true to one's passion in the ultimate fashion. So first off, how did you convince individuals to kind of embark on this journey with you, considering, of course, they're not being subsidized by income? And moreover, has this production kind of taken you away from your day jobs, or how do you kind of squeeze all of this in?
Well, first of all, we've asked every guest that's been on our show is a friend of ours, and and mostly friends of Romy's. In fact, because Romy is the mayor of Hollywood, and so it was pretty easy to get that. It was just really about when their schedule would allow for them to come and visit. And then in terms of shooting, we shoot like 3 in a day, and each interview takes about 2 hours.
Okay.
And so we just on a weekend, and then, have to edit it way down to 10 minutes, which is really hard.
Sure.
I mean, that's, and also, our producers at the time had relationships with a lot of the other crew people who had worked for them, and so, by the kindness of strangers kind of thing, or they wanted to hang out and watch something ridiculous and silly, or were fans of Martin Short, or fans of, of Stevens or Rachel Harris or something like that. So, it was definitely, we definitely promised that people would go home having spent the day laughing. So, that was.
And hopefully drunk.
Well, drunk and I baked, and I would bake for every, right. I would do craft service.
That's true. She would bake, and one of us would make out with one of them.
Right, exactly.
Listen to this.
Only guarantees. You'll laugh, you'll get Romy will bake for you, and you can make out with one of us.
Oh, my God. Look at that. How much more could one possibly ask for? Oh, and talk about vibrators, because that one was like
exactly.
Allison Danny. That was so funny.
Exactly.
It just cracked me up. And then when he grabbed her and kissed her, and I thought, oh, my God, this is too funny. Wait, the content and the casting, meaning, now do each one of you write and create, or do you have like a central group of writers that does the bulk or part and parcel of it?
For Bitter Party 5? Oh, no, it's all, we just come up with the questions we want to ask, and then the rest of it's all improvised.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, we have a pre-production meeting. We kind of discuss and we kind of contribute to each other. Say like, hey, how about you do that? Or it's a very collaborative thing. But what winds up happening is definitely off the cuff, which is why it's a workout.
Okay. Now, in terms of obviously being the writers or creators of the show, I should say, so you come up with your own content, are there any particular lines that you won't cross? I mean, there's some series or some shows where they're like, we're not going to talk about this, so we're not going to make fun of this or this or this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Things that, especially if it's a friend, if you know things, you kind of veer people, say like, I don't want you asking about, whether it's personal life or something that they have been asked to, ad infinitum. It's like with Dot Marie Jones, she's a champion arm wrestler, and I was like, she's asked that on every show. Let's stay away from that. So more things like that.
No, yeah, I usually say, if it's my, say, is there anything off limits? But they usually come into it having seen the show, kind of knowing the vibe and the tone and that kind of a thing. But they absolutely have no idea what we're going to ask them, which is kind of exciting. Ask them if there's anything they don't want to talk about or don't want mentioned.
Gotcha. Okay. And then in terms of doing a web series, because we, of course, aren't privy to this information, we're not standing in front of you. So I'm just wondering how large of a staff is employed to actually put a production together? Let's say one show, for instance. Is it a cumulative effort of a large number of people, or is it really not that complex?
No, just us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, and Tricia and I actually do the majority of the
of the pre-editing, we had an editor, and again, everybody was doing it for pennies or for nothing. So it was,
Romy and I would just go through time codes and like cut out like the first 20 minutes and then send to the editor, and then he would, put it together, and then we would go through that cut and cut out a bunch more and send it to the editor, and then it was a huge, long process. But it's like you said before, it's all kind of a labor of love for us. We're not getting paid. The crew's not getting paid, so we just do it because we believe in the project.
Gotcha. Now, I wanted to cite some of your past episodes. You had Chris Colfer, Martin Short, Alfred Molina, Allison Janney, Martha Plimpton from The Good Wife. I love her. She's wonderful. Obviously, those that are not privy to entertainment and actors and such, you just see the screen persona or a brief 2-minute interview a lot of times when you see a celebrity. So I was curious to ask you, the guests that you had to date thus far, are they as funny on screen when they come onto your show as they are off? Or have you ever had a real serious character come on and you've had to kind of put a flame under them to get them entertaining? Does that make sense?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
No, I was going to say, I think everyone is unique and they're hilarious in their own way, but we definitely have had people who were very nervous because that's not their medium, because they're used to, a script and someone writing the dialogue, and because they never know the questions we're going to ask, they don't know what's going to come their way. Now, everybody had seen the show, so and that's, I think, why they were a little nervous. But because we are who we are, fairly compassionate and sensitive people, we were never going to put them in harm's way.
Right.
So
exactly.
If they went along for the ride, but editing can make even the most frightened person funny. So that's what we tried to do. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and say who it seemed like had never seen the show, and it was horribly uncomfortable. But I'm not going to name names. Yeah. And you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any criteria for a guest, or is it just kind of they have to be an actor?
They have to be more famous than us, which pretty much leaves it wide open.
Wide open.
Oh, my gosh, that is so not true. Oh, my gosh, that's not true. Not true at all.
No,
I have that.
But that really is.
Yes, go ahead.
That really is. They just have to work a lot more than we do, or on something, or and as the show really progresses, people want us to even get quote unquote more famous people, but that's just because that brings more eyes to the show and to
That brings up a good point. Because we have really stayed true to we want them to be like true celebrities. You know what I mean? They're actors who have earned their way up and, are recognizable for a reason and yada, yada, yada. We're not going to have any reality stars on there who are famous for no reason. We're not going to have, people who put a video online that went viral. And you know what I mean? Like we are interviewing actors who have been established in their careers, and I think we've stayed true to that. We want to have some respect.
Right, exactly.
Gotcha. No, I understand exactly. Now, do you take suggestions ever?
Yeah.
For a guest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah.
Oh, sure.
I have a huge suggestion. I will kiss the ground you walk on. I will interview every week all year round if you put this person on your show. I don't know how you're going to get them, but Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh,
Kiefer
yeah.
Sutherland?
We've got to get very famous to do that.
Yeah.
I
know some.
Go on.
No, we probably know somebody who knows somebody who knows him, so it's not completely far-fetched.
Well, and I've been chasing him for a year. I've literally been chasing him for a year. And I'm like, oh, my God, I just can't get this guy. And I keep getting closer and closer and closer. And I'm like, well, we'll just keep asking everybody. Get him on a show or get this or get that. So that's my little suggestion, of course. But I think they're all fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I have two more questions for you. And you're quite welcome. And after these two questions, I'll let you ladies go because you've done so fabulously. And I'm so in awe of you. I can't even believe how well this has gone. I want to talk a little bit about future guest hosts. I saw some of the people coming, Roseanne Barr, Bradley Whitford, and Kaylee Cuoco. Is that how that's pronounced? I never.
Kaylee Cuoco. Well, now it's Kaylee Cuoco. Sweeten? Because she just got married, so.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'd heard the grapevine, and if I did hear this correctly, is that true that AHS sweetheart Sarah Paulson indicated wanting to come on the show? Is that right?
She definitely. She actually accosted me at a July 4th party, and she was like, "Why aren't I on your show?" Like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
And I think she's beyond fantastic. I mean, such a girl crush on her, and so the moment it happens, she will be there. Yeah, that'll be fun.
That would be awesome because I love AHS. She is awesome. Her, Jessica Lang, the whole 9 yards, and absolutely lovely. So I'm just curious. As far as if you had a dream guest, if there was one person that just tomorrow that you got that telephone call and they were like, "I'm coming on the show," you'd be ecstatic. Who would that be?
Oh, God. Oh, Daniel Craig.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good. Oh,
that's a good one.
Jon Stewart.
Ooh,
Jon Stewart.
That'd be a good one.
A good one.
How about,
yeah.
I'm
just
might be
looking
able
to
to get you.
Those two people are married.
Right, yeah. Damn it.
It's hard to find a single guy in Hollywood, isn't it?
It is.
There are not a lot of single ones, are there, anymore? I mean, and
no.
There really are not. I mean, I know Kiefer Sutherland is
age.
single, and I've been knocking on that door for a while. Sorry, shouldn't have admitted that
yeah.
one, but it's true. That's my crush.
It is true.
That's my big one. But go ahead. And he's pretty, and he's so talented, and so sweet. Anyways, that's enough about him. Towards the future, what do you envision for, or what is your eventual hope for Bitter Party 5, let's say a year down the road? Or have you not got that far yet, or even considered where are you going to go from this point?
Romy said it before, which is, ideally we'd love to turn this into a scripted, improvised hybrid for, a cable channel like Comedy Central or wherever. But that's kind of the goal, and that's sort of what we're working toward now. And then obviously a season 2 of, just keeping it on the internet with the regular format for season 2.
I gotcha. Now, before I forget to remind everybody, season 2, when is that going to be initiating?
We are in the process of trying to find backing and sponsorship because it definitely got to the point where people's kindness of strangers was, the kindness of strangers. We never wanted to take advantage, and so, so that part of it. So we're actually doing that before we do another season. We're looking for cash.
Okay. Well, I might be able to help you with that one. I'm coming to LA in 2 weeks. I could probably toot some serious horns. I'm doing a book signing, actually, and my friends are coming there, my actor friends, like Song of Anarchy and people that I've interviewed, and I'm really excited. And they know lots and lots of people. So we should probably talk about that. I could probably help you, and I would love to, because I have to tell you, hands down, my initial assessment of all you guys, even though I didn't get all 5 of you, I was impressed the moment I just started looking at your careers, what you've done, what you look like, how you present yourself on camera, the way you talk off camera. You're all very impressive, and I think that you're just, you're pretty big stars, and I love that you're just very, this is me, we're just this, and all that stuff, and you take your craft very seriously, and your passion even more seriously, and I think that's incredible, and I'm very, very lucky to have met you, and I'm very lucky to hopefully be getting to know you over the future time. I would love that.
That's really, really kind of you to say.
Thank you.
It's really great, too, also. And I don't want to forget, I want to go through the rundown here so that everybody knows. As far as Bitter Party of 5, it does have a Facebook page, which is Bitter Party of 5. You can find, of course, the episodes on YouTube. And also the Twitter handle is @BitterPartyOf, and that's the number 5, not 5. Now, as it relates to Romy, you are on IMDb, YouTube, you are on Facebook, and you also have a Facebook fan page. And you're also on Twitter, which is Romy Rosemont, and that's all together.
I have a Facebook fan page?
According to Facebook. Wow, we just broke that one. She didn't even know. And Tricia, you, of course, have you have a Facebook page and a fan page, also IMDb, YouTube, and your Twitter handle, @Tricia O'Kelley, which is Kelley. Did I miss anything?
No, that's
to reach you guys or to get hold of you?
I don't think so.
No, you've covered everything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Denise. It's really a pleasure.
It's fun. Oh, well, quite welcome. I sent you guys a Facebook request. Please, if you feel so inclined, please go ahead and accept and send me over the information. I would absolutely love to pass along the word to people that I know because they work in your industry. And if I can't help you, I'm certain that they would find somebody who'd be more than interested. And you have an open door policy here. Feel free to come back at any time, and please tell the other cast members I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to them today.
Definitely will.
Okay.
Thank you.
That sounds wonderful,
Thank
ladies.
you so much.
Have a fantastic, fantastic day.
Oh, my darling. Thank you so much. You too. Be well, you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
All righty.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. That was the Bitter Party of 5 interview. So very excited and such a great time. They're absolutely lovely, wonderful people, aren't they? Especially that Jason. Absolutely. Thanks so much to Danny for setting this up because, of course, he brings me some of the best people in the industry. So thank you, Danny, for thinking of me, and thank you for allowing me the time to spend with these actors. Again, Bitter Party of 5 cast inclusive of Mary Birdsong and Greg Cromer. I'm sorry that you weren't able to come today on the show. Romy Rosemont, Tricia O'Kelley, and, of course, Jason Antoon. Please, once again, Facebook, Bitter Party of 5, Twitter handle, @BitterPartyOf, and that's the number 5. IMDb and YouTube. And also, like I said, I will go ahead and post up all the links and information for all of the actors on my show page as well as my personal page. I thank you all so much for listening to today's show. Please tune in. 5 o'clock, we're going to be having young DJ Slade coming on. And then at the 6 o'clock hour in Sun Spotlight will be David Fernandez Jr., the actor. I look forward to talking to both of them later today, and you enjoy your afternoon.
What you doing? Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really? Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really? Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.